Hey guys, welcome to another comic haul video. And I know it's been a while since I last uploaded one, but as of late I've just been trying to take it easy and find books cheaply and as smoothly as I have been in the past. Like considering I went super aggressive in my last video. Like as of late I've just been taking it slow. So let's just get right into this. And this is kind of like a little of a change in backdrop, like the only two graded books that I own, and I just kind of like wanted to show them off. So first off, I want to start off with this online purchase, a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles special #1. Now this is kind of like a prelude to Jenica being the new Ninja Turtle, but this is April O'Neil. And it is a newsstand, but I'm kind of bothered by the fact that the book came more beat up than what was advertised. And I managed to complain, and I did get a partial refund on this because I guess they try to touch it up with filters and stuff because it came a lot more raggedy than how it looked on the posting. For one, there's like cover creases, a color, a dog ear basically throughout the entire book. There's a hole on here. I mean, and a little tear right there, but it is still a hard to find book nowadays. I ended up paying $20 for it, but with the partial refund, I only picked it up for 10. Like for 10, yeah, I take it in that condition, but the way they had it set up, they basically baited and switched me, so I wasn't cool with that. And then I managed to find this, the second series of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #13. Now this is the error variant, which is a little bit harder to find, but people want top dollar for this, anywhere from $40 to $60. But I managed to pick this up for only 15 with shipping. And yeah, that's pretty much my only two online purchases. Now, the story with this next comic was that I actually went to an electronics store looking for a specific charger, and it just so happens that they have like a little section for comic books, and they were all advertised as $1. So they didn't have much of a selection, but I just started digging through anyway just to see what I could find. And keeping with the topic of TMNT, I found the very last issue of the Image series #23, the second appearance of the Lady Shredder. Like, I'm actually honestly glad to find this because that kind of goes with the last issue #22 that I found in Dallas for $35. And this one's a super hard to find book. This was the last issue before they unceremoniously canceled it, and it wasn't until IDW picked up the rights in the new series where they started printing out the Image comics under the Urban Legends title, and they finally managed to bring back the original creators to finish up that storyline. Like, I haven't read it, but I'm just happy to find this book. So I noticed that a lot of people in the community have been bitten by the Star Wars bug, and a lot of collectors in my area have too. So like with the story with this is that I hit up my honey hole, and then as soon as I go in there, I notice that the store is laid out a little bit differently. And when I go in there, there's usually a little shelf, and it's set up by alphabetical order. But I noticed that there was two bins missing from the very bottom corner, which just so happened to be the Star Wars section. And I asked the guy, hey, like, where did all the Star Wars books go? And he went, well, there was a guy in here that basically bought out the entire bin, and I gave him an offer on it because the store owner has it set up so if you're signed up with the store, he'll send you out notifications when he gets new stock in. Uh, I mentioned the store before in my very first video where I hit it up with all those DC Universe logo variants, and I was like bummed out because I was actually looking to find something Star Wars related, and he said that he worked out a deal with the guy who sold two short boxes for $350, and that had new stock in there. So the only two people that know what was ever in those bins is gonna be the owner and the guy he sold it to. So if you manage to find that, or if he happens to be watching this video, hopefully he'll upload it if he does YouTube videos at all. But while I was there, I managed to find some other stuff. I'm gonna start off with this Legionnaires number 16, the Adam Hughes cover. You know, the one of his most recognizable covers, and it just so happens to be a newsstand. This is a second copy of mine. I have a direct edition, but now I'm trying to go after that DC Universe logo variant. But that one's gonna cost a pretty penny because it goes anywhere from $50 to $60. And then I happened to find the Prelude to Miles Morales and Ultimate Fallout number 3. It's not in the best condition, but for $1, that's basically what it's worth. I mean, it's got some stains right here, some rubbing in the back. Like, it's not the prettiest book around, but for $1, who's gonna argue with that? And who doesn't like Miles Morales nowadays, considering what his books go for? Then I managed to find a Static number 16, a newsstand edition. Man, like, I am lucky that I found that Static Shock number 1 polybagged from that antique mall, because after Michael B. Jordan said he was getting involved with that, man, that book started to rise up. And I noticed that most of his issues are going up in value too. And then I managed to find a Punisher number 1, a variant. This is kind of an homage to that infamous first appearance in his Spider-Man. And next up, I have a Detective Comics number 691. It's really more of a cover grab, but I come to find out that this is the first appearance of Lady Spellbinder, and it just happens to be a newsstand. And I kind of dig this. I don't know why. Next up, I managed to find a Flash number 159. I believe this is when Wally West happens to get married to Linda Park. And if y'all been watching my videos, y'all, I've been telling how most of the 90s stuff has been drying up, but I was actually lucky to find this. Some Batman Beyond newsstands. I'm like when he gave us the notifications, I didn't even know that. Like, cause I put in a specific request saying if you find anything from the Batman Beyond or Batman Adventures from the early 90s, just give me a heads up. And considering that a customer managed to buy those 2 bins of Star Wars books, I'm lucky I actually managed to find that. And I also happened to find the next issue in that series, Batman Beyond number 9, a newsstand. And what's funny about this is that most people tend to look towards Ink as Batman's Beyond's greatest villain, but I would rank Kirare up there as one of them, considering that most people tend to follow the animated series, and she's another recurring villain, but I don't think she gets enough love, mostly because, like, creators nowadays don't actually know what to do with her. And Superman Adventures number 39, nothing too special about that. It's just based on the animated series, and it's a newsstand. And this one, the Super Friends number 8. I found this for $1, and it just happens to be the first appearance of the Jack-O-Lantern. And it's pretty beat up, but for $1, who's going to complain about that? Then in their variant section, I managed to find a Batman Beyond Rebirth #1, the foil. Like, this is a really nice cover. But the thing is that I couldn't manage to get this one for $1, but he said he charged me cover price, but seeing as it's a convention exclusive, it didn't even have a cover price, so he just charged me $3 for it. I'm like, that's fine with me. Like, it's a nice looking cover, but unfortunately, I already put my fingerprints all over it, so I'm gonna have to clean that off. And then I managed to find a Weird Tales #6, some Bronze Age goodness for $1. You know, Halloween, it's the season, just something to go with the theme. And I noticed that people tend to pick up the Flash versus Superman race, any issue that features them, but I think this is kind of a close second. Why have the heroes racing when you can also have the villains? In Superman #221, Bizarro racing Reverse Flash. Like, I I tend to like this cover more as a parody than an actual story, but you know, I managed to pick it up for $1. Now apparently this has been picking up steam as of late. Action Comics #894, the one of the first appearances of Death in comics. Like, I'm not too familiar with her, but it's been picking up steam, and I found it for $1. And the cover's not too bad either. I also happened to pick up Justice League of America #50. Uh, it's a variant cover that features the Injustice League, or not the Injustice, but the Crime Syndicate. I wish it was in a little bit better condition because there's some spine stress all along here, and a white cover, like, so that kind of tends to throw it off. But for $1, yeah. And up next is Marvel Knights Spider-Man #10. Now this has been picking up a lot of steam because it features Matt Gargan, the Scorpion, being introduced as Venom, like the second or third Venom right around this time. And everything Spider-Man related just seems to be going up. So this was more of a cover grab just because I tend to like it. A Web of Spider-Man #37. Like, I don't know what it is, but issues from this time frame that just like feature like a silhouette of him, like, I don't, that just tends to like attract me because it's like so simple, but yet it always tells like a story. And this one, a Batman #415. Like, I'm not sure if this is the first appearance of somebody, but, or I could just be mistaking it for another book. But you know, who's gonna complain for a little $1? Now I managed to pick up Superboy #15, a DC Universe logo variant. But I actually did not notice this until I came home and actually looked at it. But it's actually signed by the inker Andy Parks. And like, right as I was about to make this video, I did my research, and apparently he likes to sign his first name and the year that he signed it, which I think is kind of cool. You can see there he signed this book back in 2007. I'm like, wow, like an autographed book for $1 and a DC Universe logo variant. Hey man, that works out in my favor. Like, as of late, like, my DC Universe logo variants have been like up there. Like, I have close to 60 books, and I got a couple of key issues, but I'm looking to like make a complete set, which I know will never happen because you never actually know which books are there or aren't available in that variant. Next up is Superman #16. This is the first Supergirl as the Matrix. Um, you know, it kind of sucks that Supergirl is getting canceled, but at the same time, her show was never really good anyway, aside from the crossovers. But you know, any first appearance is a first appearance. And then I managed to find this one, a Street Fighter #1, which apparently is a Dynamic Forces variant. I'm like, this book tends to go from 10 to 20 because it's not really anything valuable, but finding Dynamic Forces variants, it doesn't hurt. So today I managed to go back to that movie trading company, and one thing that I've noticed about this place is that they always tend to have like a monthly sale on their comics. It's usually based on a publishing company or a superhero. Like this month's sale was a Daredevil, and then I go back there, and then it's like, guys, you guys are kind of like false advertising. Like, how are you gonna have a sale on Daredevil comics of buy one get one free if y'all don't even have any Daredevil comics? Like literally all their Daredevil backstock is usually just those mostly those Shadowland tie-ins, but it just happens to be featuring Daredevil. I'm like, I won't tell you how to run your business, but that's just false advertising right there. And then I started going through most of their back issue bins, and I know that a local comic hunter, I know that he's been picking through them because I started going through the main series like Avengers, Captain America, Justice League, Batman. Most of the key issues from that stuff has been picked through, and I know it was him. But one thing I tend to notice is that he'll always go straight for the actual titles, but he'll never actually go digging through the dollar bin, which is funny because their dollar bin section is much more stacked up than the actual like series bins. So I managed to find another Convergence Aquaman #1 or #2. The first appearance of Nadik, the current Doctor Fate, and most people still don't know if he's going to be the one featured in the Black Adam movie. So I found that for $1. Then I managed to find a Superboy #5 DC Universe logo variant for $1. Steel #4 for $1, DC Universe. Now I saw Mercenary show this off in his video today. Justice League Dark #9, first new Black Orchid with John Constantine. I know I showed this off in my last video too, but I'm kind of kicking myself over it, seeing as how I spent $3 on that book. But yeah, I managed to find it like 2 weeks later for $1. I'm like, God dang it. And Countdown #31. This kind of alludes to the Three Jokers, and it's currently like a $10 book, but we're still waiting to see how the Three Jokers series concludes and what that actually ties into. But like right now, you won't be able to find Justice League #50 for on the cheap, so you might as well go with the next best thing. Now, this one kind of ties into the new HBO Green Lantern show that's been announced. Alan Scott, he makes his modern appearance here on Earth 2 #1, and this has been hitting $10 as of late, but for $1, you know. And a couple of months ago, this book was hard to find, but I managed to find that there. But like the thing going on with that is that when I took it up to the register, it didn't even have a price sticker on it, and the guy said, "Well, I could easily just charge you the $3.99 here, but if it doesn't have a sticker and you found it back there, I'll honor the $1." I'm like, "Bro, you better, cause I found this in the dollar section anyway." And most of the back issues that they have back there are usually in this trashy loose bag. I'm like, how can you not tell what you're selling and then trying to upcharge me? Now I know that a lot of the Spider-Verse characters have been picking up a lot of steam, and I think this one tends to be overlooked mostly because people prefer the Gwen Stacy Spider-Woman, but this has been kind of a sleeper for me. Like hopefully it'll do something someday. It's Felicia Hardy as the Spider Woman, and this is her first cameo, and the first full appearance is in number 46. Like, for those of you that used to play the Spider-Man Unlimited mobile game, like, one thing that I appreciated about that is every time you would play one of the characters, it would give you the backstory and how you, uh, and it'll tell you where they made their first appearances at. Like totally forgot about this, but then I realized, wait, didn't she make her first appearance in 45 and 46? And I appreciate that game, but unfortunately, like, they discontinued it. So if you remember that game, like, you can always go online to research their appearances and whatnot. But hopefully one day this could do something, or she'll make an appearance somewhere. Now, I know that a lot of the Court of Owls stuff has been picking up steam as of late, and anything Batman related, because it's always Batman, you know. I managed to find Batman number 2. What's funny about this is that somebody took their time to write the first appearance of Talon on there, and yet selling it for cover price. I'm like, hey, why not? And it's a Court of Owls tie-in, so who's complaining about that? And then I managed to find this one right here, Batman 4 for $1. Like, it's not the best. It's got spine ticks, but this book, like, it features one of the Court of Owls on there, so it's been picking up steam. And then I managed to pick up the next issue, number 5, and it just so happens to be a combo pack variant. But unfortunately for me, it is taken out of the poly bag. But the book itself is going for $10, so I can't complain about that. Like, I just wish that it was still in the bag. It could actually be worth a little bit more, but, you know. And then A Death in the Family tie-in with number 14. I found that for $1. And then I managed to pick up number 28, another copy of the first appearance of Bluebird. And hopefully you guys found this interesting, and just, you know, keep out there and find the books that you want. So, you know, this video's been going long, so I don't want to bore y'all to death. So, you know, just take care and keep hunting, guys.